and welcome back to my art and fiction channel. I'm Adele. On this channel I share my original paintings, drawings and sketching and some original fiction. And today I'm working on an oblong painting that's on canvas using acrylic paint, and it's of a stand of trees. This is part of my Birkenhead Park series. Regular viewers might remember me talking about this. I've been working on this series for the last 8.5 years, and how it began was because we moved house here and the park is fairly close by, and walking my dogs every day, as I often do, I thought, why don't I bring a sketch pad with me? What a good idea. So I found this small A5 size sketch pad, and I just fitted it in a pocket and took a pen, a pencil, no fuss, all totally low tech, but that's all you need actually. And while I was walking around with the dogs, I just sketched whatever caught my eye at the time. So now, about 8.5 years later, I've got this humongous pile of sketch pads full of rapid drawings of trees and the wildlife in the park, some scenery, studies of people walking through the park. So we've got lots of trees. I'm really interested by the shapes of trees, by the tangle of old tree branches. That's why I like drawing, particularly in the autumn, when you can see more of that, when it starts dropping the leaves. You can really see the shapes of the trees. None of them are the same. There's never an identical tree, and the colours are so varied. If you really look, as a child you tend to draw a tree a bit like a lollipop, a brown stick with a green blob on top. No tree on earth actually looks like that in nature. The bark is a multitude of different colours. The branches are never a simple shape, not unless someone's come along with a pair of secateurs and pruned them to be a simple shape, which I don't particularly like. I prefer the natural shape of the tree. One of my pet hates is bonsai trees actually. Now I know millions of people think they're marvellous. To me they look like deformed trees that have been brutally restructured, shall we say. Anyway, the sketches in my pads are gradually becoming a series of paintings. I'm not particularly interested in producing a literal image of the park. If I wanted to keep it exactly as it really looks, you might as well use a camera. I see no harm in using a camera if that's what you want to do. Not my cup of tea. I'm more interested in catching atmosphere and creating, to a degree, a subtle narrative quality. Oh, this is another painting that I'm working on as well. This one's called The Nine Sisters, which is a circle of trees that have almost humanoid qualities. People often ask me who my influences in paintings are. That's many and varied actually. My tastes are pretty diverse. I think with the work I'm doing at the moment, the two obvious influences at the forefront are Cézanne and Monet. But I've had a lifelong admiration for the work of Edward Burne-Jones. I've studied his work in quite some detail, but I cannot see his influence in my own artwork. Maybe other people can. You don't always see things as other people do you? Not your own work. As artists, we're often the worst judges of our own work. They're often the fiercest critics anyway. Certainly I'm always finding fault with everything that I do. I think most creative people tend to do that. But my tastes in art are very, very diverse. I really like Susan Ryder's work, for example, which is completely different from my own. It's lovely and quiet in the art room today. My dogs sometimes come running in to keep me company, and they'll sit on the tuffet in the window and look out and yap every time a pigeon lands on the tree or the neighbour's cat dares to stroll by. Then World War III breaks out. A few people have sent me emails recently asking whether or not they should go to art school. I could do an entire video just on that subject alone. It's certainly not for me to tell you what to do. Maybe that could be a subject for a whole new video. If you think that's a good idea, let me know in the comment section below. And there's the finished painting, the 9 Sisters.